And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 50. Oh my god, our weekly dose of Open StarCraft, hosted here by the Cranky Ducklings. I'm of course your ZvP, and with me I'm joined by my plushies, by the amazing people in the chat as well, and these incredible players as we're diving into our first matchup. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is massive, the bracket is insane, and we'll go over it after this series. We have our first matchup here to kick things off, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have our purple Zerg player from the land of Costa Rica, representing Team License to Kill. It is EON. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as a opponent, we have the orange Protoss player. The orange Protoss, it is F2ClicK. I realized I didn't ask them where they're from. So I'm not fully familiar, but we're diving into this nonetheless, and I'm looking forward to be introduced here to our Protoss player to see how they do perform against a player of the caliber of EON. Now, based on their race, based on their name, I'm expecting a certain playstyle here out of our Protoss, but we'll see. We'll see what we get into. Likewise, EON, of course, the cheesiest Zerg player in all of Latino America. He's very aggressive, very cheesy, does come out with a lot of all-ins, so I'm curious to see how EON approaches his opponent. Coming into this, EON is going to be coming in as the favorite player, that is true, but at the same time, you don't want to underestimate a player who's called F2ClicK. He knows how to play StarCraft, Bobby. He knows. He does know. Meanwhile, everyone, again, I hope you all enjoyed, or I hope you all had a great weekend so far. Again, I do apologize for the delayed start to the event, but the event is now up and running, and it's just great to be back here with another week, another dose of Sparkling Tuna Cup. The caliber of players always looking amazing. We have some returning players. We also have some missing champions, so again, we'll get into it once we wrap this up. For now, it's going to be a Gate Expand. Gate Expand is a Cybercore here from our Protoss player. Nothing too crazy, everything looking as it should. Meanwhile, across the map, EON is going for a Hatch Gas Pool Opener standard start out of EON. I need to point that out just because, again, EON is more of, or traditionally more of an aggressive player, historically more of an aggressive player. So for now, things are calming down, but really I'm keeping my eye on his 2-base play, on even his saturation at his would-be third as well, to see how hard EON commits. Meanwhile, back at home, we have our tech of choice, F2ClicK, going for a Stargate opener back at home. Okay, gonna be going Stargate into Oracle, I imagine. So far, everything's looking standard. Everything is looking as it should. Nothing too crazy so far out of our Protoss player either. Everything is, yeah, we're kind of easing our way into the mid-game. No major deviations yet. A little bit surprised by that, but all in all, especially coming into game one, you know, we're easing our way into the tournament here. No reason to really spice things up too much ahead of time. We got plenty of spice later on. Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. As opposed to just going to be scouting, checking that third base location, confirming that it is going to be taking. EON going for a hidden Bailey Nest behind the mineral line. This is a 3-minute Bailey Nest, by the way. It's early. It's early. We're going for a Bane Bust. So this is what I spoke about earlier when I was like, EON, he's usually aggressive. He's usually all in. Not saying he has to go for like a fast pool opener or anything like that. But look at this. He transfers workers from his main base to his natural. Why did he do that? To make it look like he's droning. He's faking out, or trying to fake out saturation, hiding his all-in, making it look like he's saturating when he isn't, and we are amassing Ling Bane as we speak. It's going to be a massive Bane bust. Meanwhile, back at home, F2ClicK has no idea what's going on. Now, I know we've been talking a lot about the build of EON. When it comes to our Protoss player, he now spots some Lings, but that's no big scout yet. Oracle's moving out towards the main base, but there's been no Adept Harass. Because there's been no Adept Harass, there's been no scouting whatsoever out of our Protoss, and here come the Lings. They're going to surround. They're going to surround on one Adept. They shut down the Stalker as well. There's one Adept left, and it's also going to be shut down. F2ClicK in a lot of trouble. He's racing back home with the Oracle, and the Oracle should buy some time. As we activate the Pulsar Beam, we can annihilate quite a few of these Lings. Yeah, Lings are going down. EON, did overextend for a moment there. Did stick around a little bit too long. Backup shield batteries are on the way. EON, he backs off and shows the Bailings. There they are. Bailings are on the way, and F2ClicK does not check. He does not head over with his Oracle. Doesn't know what's going on. As we're still all in, we're still flooding Lings. Behind this, EON is making a wave of drones. I'm a little bit surprised by the droning here, but we'll see if he even needs it. Second Oracle has arrived. Bailings are rolling on in. Up, they waddle in. Oh, and a late reaction with the Oracle. Yeah, the pylon gets shut down, but we do have shield batteries. We have an overcharge as well. The bathing does detonate in the mineral line. A lot of probes get shut down there, or a lot of probes get softened up. Gateway falls, and it looks like we will clean up these lings. F2ClicK will hold. We do hold on. We're getting into Glaveness behind this. Interesting transition here from our Protoss player. We have 3 gateways on the low ground. Yeah, it's going to be 3 gates, to be 4 gate Glaves. Meanwhile, EON is droning. EON has been happily droning, this time actually saturating his 2 bases, working towards a gas geyser, eventually a lair as well. He has lings on the field, and he's going for a second Bane bust. I assumed he was just going to make lings just to contain, just to force F2ClicK to stay on 2 bases, but no, that is not the case. Meanwhile, F2, yeah, he does fully wall off with gateways, stasis trap as well. There's no breaking into this. It's not happening. It shouldn't be happening. And the banelings once again, stasis trap is, oh my god, is baited out. Ooh, and we bust through the gateway, but again, with all this SimCity, with the shield batteries, with the adepts, we hold. We do hold on. EON has to back off behind this. Thankfully, Roach Warren's on the way. Thankfully, we're not going Ling Bane into Hydra, for example. We're droning up a little bit into 35 workers. That is still a very low drone count. You can see that EON, he's just now surpassing the worker count of his opponent. Ay, ay, ay. As F2ClicK is amassing his own adepts. Glaves is done, but he has yet to leave. I don't blame him. I mean, we can't really... I would say we can push into this, actually. It's only lings. Soon to be with banelings, though. Meanwhile, that's a massive gateway explosion. Ooh, I'm not so sure if I'm fond of this. So this is a 2-base all-in, clearly. But that's going to be 10 gateways. And I'll be honest, you don't have the gas to be able to afford 10 adepts at a time. Like, this is not... we don't have the economy for this. For a charge all-in, that's a different story. There it is. Charge is now on the way. This charge is a little bit late, unfortunately. We did need to prioritize this sooner. But that makes more sense. So it's going to be a 2-base, 10-gate charge all-in. Oracles, they get across the map. Adepts still not quite threatening our opponent either. Roaches are amassing. EON droning up to 2-base saturation. And working on his roaches. F2ClicK finally moving out with his adepts. Finally does move out. Is scattered by the Ling. EON is aware. And EON does have what it takes to deal with this, but we're actually headed for the 3rd base, and there's no creep connecting these bases. Yeah, we shade into the 3rd. Lings, they arrive just in time. They're going to be able to tank some shots. Drones are kept safe and sound as a result. I mean, I say safe and sound, 2 drones go down. Only 2. Banelings, they barely do graze the army. We shade in between the bases towards that natural, and we're going to get a couple more drones, but we will clean this up. 5 worker kills for how many adepts? 13. Not the best trade there for F2ClicK. To be fair, EON doesn't really have much of an economy to begin with, so killing some drones does impact him quite a bit. But now he's re-droning. We have a Hydrogen on the way, and now we're going for a big counterattack, this time with Roaches. No Ravagers, though. Roach is a handful of banelings. Immortal production still not fully underway. And they're making 1 Immortal at a time. And the first one is about to pop out. But there are no sentries. Again, because there's no Ravagers, if EON pushed in, if we had a couple of force fields, we could defend, we could hold. Without them, I feel like EON could have broken this location. Or at least not killed the Protoss, but denied the 3rd. I do think that could have been a big possibility, but EON is playing it safe. He backs off. Droning up into 3-base saturation, getting a 4th base as well. EON, he's macroing. Let's go. He's actually macroing. Meanwhile, F2ClicK now going for a counterattack. Finally, for the first time with his Oracles. The entire game, they've been stuck at home. But we have Spores in position. We have a handful of Queens as well. Oracles, they're going for the 4th instead. Okay, I can get behind that. 4th base is going to be focused down. You have EON going for a big push, though, and the Zealots are being annihilated again. No sentries, no force fields. The Immortal is saved, but I can't say the same for everything else. And we're breaking through the line of Zealots. Breaking through the Zealots. GG, well played, and EON will take game number 1. GG. Again, EON just able to overwhelm its opponents. What I will say is after the initial defense, I do think there was a moment where F2ClicK could have counterattacked. This is when EON lost his 2 waves of the Ling Bane, and when he only had Lings at home to defend and no roaches. There was an opportunity to counterattack, but F2ClicK didn't know. Did not know. You can actually see it here on the bracket. Sorry, on the graph. F2ClicK is the purple Protoss player. The purple line, and you can see the moment where the Ling Bane was thrown away and where F2ClicK maybe had a moment to push, but he stayed back at home. He was a little bit too scared, a little bit too tentative, and as a result, EON was able to stabilize, able to recover. GG. GG, well played. With that, EON takes game number 1. Looks like we're switching over to the European server for game number 2. Okay. We are switching over to EU. And we'll see if F2ClicK can recover. Also, I need to quickly double check this now. Where is F2ClicK from? I'm unfamiliar with them as a player. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out, but I guess from a European country. I'm asking him. This is when I find out he's like a Polish Protoss player again. We can't get away with them. We can't get away from them even. They're everywhere. Here we go. We have our second game. It's going to be Oceanborn as our second map of choice. Let's go. We're going to be loading into Oceanborn for game number 2. And the question becomes, does F2ClicK... I mean, I imagine he's not really aware of EON. Like, in the introduction to the series, I spoke about how EON is the cheesiest Zerg player in all of Latin America. And EON has a reputation amongst the American scene. But I'm sure a lot of the Europeans aren't too familiar with EON. And game 1 was maybe a bit of a wake-up call. What about game number 2? As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our orange Protoss player. Representing himself, currently teamless, it is F2ClicK. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the purple Zerg player from Costa Rica, representing Team License to Kill. It is EON. Catching up in the chat. I don't think you have enough mineral patches for 10 gateways unless you have 3 bases, or it is. I think on 2 bases with a charge all in. No, yeah. For 10 gates you need 3 bases, 100%. 100%. So I was a little bit perplexed. I mean, with Zealots you can still squeeze out a little bit more, but than you otherwise usually would. I think you can maybe go up to 6, maybe. Could you 8 gate all in on 2 bases with charge? I know you can do 5. I know that much. Sorry, I know you can do 6. Yeah, obviously. You can do 6 gates. 8, I think you're pushing it. But for now, pull first. Here we go. We have a pull first here from EON. So we do decide to shake things up a little bit here in the early game. Going pool, hatch, pool, gas, followed by the hatchery. Interesting. Now with this is going to be a bit of a safer opener. I say safer because we have a queen on the way, we have a handful of lings, but you can see that we're not flooding lings across the map. Only 2 lings, so if there was like a proxy or a cannon rush, then EON would be well prepared against it. He would shut it down. So in case F2ClicK decide to cheese things up himself, then EON would be in a better position to shut it down. As F2 is just going for a gate expand into Cybercore. I say that Warp Gate is going to be on the way. Okay, so remember, last game we did have a Stargate opener. This time with Warp Gate being researched, as long as we don't cancel it, this could be a Twilight Council. or even a robo. I'm feeling at Twilight Council, here we go, Lings, they do try to slip in, they do get eyes on the building upgrade, or the researching upgrade. Warpgate prioritized quite a bit there. Yep, and there it is, Twilight Council. Okay, so usually if you go for a Stargate opening, you cancel. You cancel this Warp Gate to be able to afford a faster Stargate, which is what we saw in Game 1. Here, EON confirmed that there was no cancellation of this upgrade, so he should be aware of the potential of a Twilight Council opener. Now, from here, this could be Glaives, this could be DTs, it could be a charge-based all-in. I'm curious where this takes us. We haven't pulled out a gas, so this should not be Glaives. Not be Glaive Adepts. If it is, then it could be Glaives alongside Dark Templar or like 6-gate Glaive Adepts. DTs. Let's go. Show us the Dark Shrine. And there it is. A Dark Shrine has been thrown down. We have our build of choice here from F2ClicK, and it's on EON to piece it all together. For now, he has an Overlord outside the bases. He's getting his third base. He's getting some safety spore crawlers in between his mineral lines. So far, so good. In a couple of seconds, we should be seeing a Roach Warren. What I will say is that these spores are really fast, actually. These are really early spore crawlers, to the point where they're a little bit unnecessary. You can see here the spores are finishing, and the Dark Shrine is not even halfway done. So a little bit inefficient here from EON, but he's playing safe. Ooh, going for a fast lair? Sorry, I didn't even notice that. Insanely fast lair here from EON. Now, with a fast lair, this could be a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. We have taken 3 gases. No, it's going to be Ling Hydra. Okay. Yeah, 3 gases have been taken, so we're going for a bit of a Mio Micah build. We're rushing into Ling Hydra. Who do I favor? I think for the first Archon drop, for the DT push and the Archon drop, I want to favor F2. I think there's a little potential here. There is detection, mobile detection with the fast lair, bear that in mind, so the DTs shouldn't get much done. DTs are waddling in, but I do like the idea of Archon Harass after this, if we save the Dark Templar. DTs are waddling in. They head for that hatchery. And yeah, we have mobile detection, we do shut this down, we force it back into the main, and we're going for some drone kills. Ling's having a hard time keeping up. Ooh, the Prism taking a lot of hits. Oh my god, the Prism getting so low. F2ClicK playing with fire there, forced to recall back home, and that will delay the Archon Harass, and that means that EON is going to be able to stabilize here on his 3-base setup. I say that he's still only on 38 drones, he still barely has saturated his bases. He's on just under 2-base saturation. He does rush into these Hydras, which will keep him safe against the War Prism, true. And now is the time to drone. Meanwhile, ooh, this is a 2-base all-in. Okay, we have a 2-base all-in. We have a 4-gateway explosion. It's going to be 4 gates. Sorry, going to be 8 gateways in total. That's a lot of gateways here for F2ClicK. I do see that he throws down a pylon, but usually instead of expanding here, like we've chosen to throw down all these gateways, you wouldn't do both. Otherwise, we're just delaying our third for so long. So this should be a 2-base all-in, 8 gates in total. Going for charge, immortals, sentries. I'm loving the sentries. The bonus here, the added benefit of these sentries in this situation is that EON has no Ravagers. There are no Ravagers, there's no way to deal with those force fields. Force fields are going to be king in a head-on engagement, but before that happens, it looks like it's only a sentry army. And here comes the Ling Hydra, here comes the all-in from EON. Cutting workers at 2 bases. Pushes out across the map, denies the third. I mean, there wasn't going to be one. We take down the Cyber Core. Now, thankfully, we're only warping in Zealots anyway. But now we're going for the gateways. In good position here with these Hydras. Shutting down 2 gateways. This is pretty huge, especially with an all-in. We had 8 gates, now we're going down to 6. Here we go. We do try to dive on forward. The force fields are thrown down. Not ideal. But the Hydras are exposed. We have to back off. Oh, we had some okay force fields. We catch 2 more Hydras. EON has to retreat. Here we go. F2 is pushing. EON, he could try to turn around and snipe the Prism, but okay, we do hold on. We do pull back. There we go, warping in 6 zealots at a time. 2 more gateways on the way to make 8 in total. EON has been harassing Ling Hydra. It dives on the zealots already. And zealots going to be going down. We do create a choke point here, and we're getting on top of the Archons. F2ClicK just doesn't have enough. Nice juggling though, saves the Archon. Very well done. Saves 2 of the Archons, goes through the warp in. F2ClicK looks like, yeah, he's just waiting for another round of reinforcements here. Looks like more Archons this time. The Archons are on the way. And I need to favor the army a little bit here for F2ClicK. That's a lot of Archons against Ling Hydra. This is going to be a tough defense here for EON. Again, his low drone count is hurting him so much. On 46 drones against the 44 workers here of F2. Another big warp in. I feel like EON needs to be a little bit more aggressive here. It needs to dive on this a little bit sooner. Now the army, it's gone out of control. F2ClicK with a death ball of an army. And you know what time it is? It's time to F2 and click, Bobby. Let's go. The concave is looking not too bad here from these Hydra. Spines finish up just in time. But the Immortals are going ham. They shut down the Spine Crawlers. But with the Hydras, they barely hold on. The Spine putting in a lot of work. Yeah, we shut down to the Archons. Whew. We get on top of the Immortals. Just barely. 1, 2 Immortals go down. These Zealous reinforcements a little bit too late. F2ClicK so close to breaking through. GG gets called and EON takes the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Happy. GG, well played. EON, he had the concave, he had 2 spines finishing up just in time. And that last wave of reinforcements for F2ClicK did arrive a little bit too late. Also, if he had his Warp Prism to help juggle back his Archons or his Immortals, would have been ideal as well. There was a little bit left to be desired there from the push from F2ClicK. Still very close, so still almost broke through, but EON did hold. Again, you can see towards the end there, the army supply in favor of the Protoss did have a devastating army, but this army supply also doesn't take into account, you know, the Spine Crawlers, the Concave, of course, the extra damage that EON was able to deal because of that, with the better positioning. GG. Congratulations to EON as he does advance on. My condolences to F2ClicK as he is going to be eliminated from the tournament. And from here, we are going to be following EON into the next round. And now we can finally take a moment here to have a look at the bracket. And this is one of the big reasons why I dove on this series. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We have a returning champion. Oh god, I'm excited.